Hi and welcome to Clarinet Stories. I am Maryse Legault and I am a historical clarinetist. There is a clarinet that is pretty unavoidable that I haven't spoken about yet in this series, and this is the Basset clarinet. The Basset clarinet is an instrument closely related to Mozart. The clarinetist for whom Mozart wrote his solo clarinet music, Anton Stadler, was indeed the conceptor of the Basset clarinet, and this is thanks to his collaboration with the Viennese maker Theodor Lotz that the Basset clarinet was invented at the end of the 18th century. What are the characteristics of the Basset clarinet besides its weird shape? The Basset clarinet is a Viennese boxwood instrument based usually on the 5-keyed system with additional low notes and a bulbous bell. This clarinet is either in B flat or A, which differentiates it from basset horns having a similar shape. Basset horns are usually in F or in G. The first mention of the Basset clarinet appeared on a poster in 1788 in Vienna, where we can read that Anton Stadler will play a concerto and a variation on his Basset clarinet, a newly invented instrument built by Theodor Lotz. The first model of this instrument was very likely diatonic, meaning that the additional low notes below the E of the regular clarinet were D and C. In 1790, the Musicology correspondence of Berlin states that Anton Stadler improved his instrument by adding chromatic low notes. You absolutely need the chromatic low notes in order to play Mozart's concerto and quintet. Few makers made Basset clarinets, but some instruments survive until today. Some of these makers advertised Basset clarinet for sale, but the enthusiasm for this odd instrument never really took flight. The instrument was always closely related to Anton Stadler. The first reconstruction of the Basset clarinet was made by Rudolf Tutz for Hans Deinzer in the 70s. Many performances and recordings were made at that time, but what is really fascinating is that the real shape of Anton Stadler's Basset clarinet was not known yet. The manuscript of Mozart's clarinet concerto has been lost, which made the task of reconstructing the instrument for which the piece was written a real challenge for a long time. The first person to suspect that the concerto may have been written for an instrument with additional low notes was Georges Désolé in 1948. Désolé identified problems in the music itself, and he believed that the regular clarinet was not the right instrument to perform Mozart's clarinet concerto. For more details about the steps leading to the rediscovery and the reconstruction of the Basset clarinet, I encourage you to go check my interview with Eric Herprick, who was an important actor in this rediscovery. But the person who found the image of Anton Stadler's clarinet and was able to connect the instrument with the music was the musicologist Pamela Poulin. Thanks to her important discovery of a concert program in 1992 on which we can see an engraving of Stadler's instrument, makers like Eric Herprick were able to finally build a copy of the instrument and do historical recordings with it. There is not a wide repertoire for this instrument, as you can imagine. The two most important pieces are obviously Mozart's Concerto K622 and his Quintet 581. Both are written for Basset clarinet in A. Other works, such as the aria Parto Parto in the opera La Clemenza di Tito, uses a Basset clarinet in B flat. The autograph of the quintet K581 has been lost also, but we have a few manuscript fragments of pieces written for Basset clarinet in B-flat. Mozart's student, the composer Franz Xaver Süssmayr, also wrote a Basset clarinet concerto for Anton Stadler, but only the first movement survived until today. This is almost inevitable for a historical clarinetist today to own a Basset clarinet in A, since Mozart's Clarinet Concerto is the most popular solo work for clarinet from the era. However, since there is only one finished piece for the B-flat Basset clarinet, this is often sufficient and perhaps even historically accurate to use an extension to reach the low notes in the aria Parto Parto. As much as having all the correct instruments for each piece would be amazing, this is also okay to find solutions that are a bit more realistic. The Basset clarinet is a challenging instrument. I personally find it the hardest to play. Not only you need to deal with the challenges of a 5-keyed instrument, but you also need to get comfortable with the keys activated by the thumb. You have the struggle of the odd balance and weight of the instrument, as well as the extra resistance due to the bulbous bell. So best of luck to anyone starting to perform on the Basset clarinet. However, this is a beautiful sound. If you're interested by the Basset clarinet, I strongly encourage you to read Pamela Poulin's book In the Footsteps of Mozart's Clarinetist, Anton Stadler, and his Basset clarinet. It is full of historical information about Stadler. Musically speaking, I believe that the best way to improve your playing on the Basset clarinet is to not limit yourself to Basset clarinet music. You can try to perform music such as studies or solo clarinet music like Stadler's 3 Capriccios on the Basset. To go through as much repertoire as possible is a great way to get comfortable on the Basset. You heard me play this instrument already since I recorded the opening titles with this Basset clarinet. To finish the episode, I would still like to play for you a couple of short excerpts from Mozart's Clarinet Concerto using this Basset clarinet made by Laura Schönherr. If you like the content of these episodes, please subscribe to the channel. If you have questions or you would like me to talk about something clarinet related, let me know in the comments. See you in another episode of Clarinet Stories.